It's a beautiful life. So make sure you always open up your eyes to all the adventures. Go against the tide. Before you know it, you'll be running out of time. You should fight for all you wanna be. Don't look back on what it could have been. You'll find it. You'll find it. You could make your way across the sea. Find new places you ain't never been. Now I believe. Now I believe. I'll live a life that's filled with stories to be told. I'll make it through the darkness and make sure I'm coming home. Even if I'm walking all alone, I'm always coming home.
Hello, lovelies, and welcome to the Give Yourself Grace tag that was originally done 2 years ago by author Morgan Lee. I am your host today, Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, and I've been trying to do this for like 2 weeks now. Haven't got it done, and finally editing software and bad recordings, and I just decided I'm going to do it live because why not? And it is Imbolc. That is the spring change from winter to spring holiday of the Celtic persuasion, a time for new starts and planting seeds. And so I think this is a good place to start, considering that everything that's going on right now is incredibly stressful, painful, bothersome. So I am going to pull up the questions so that I can read them so they're larger, because this screen is not as big as this screen over here. And I'm going to handy dandy notebook because I like to write things by hand. And so I'm going to read the first one, which is question number 1. What are the things that are overwhelming you? This can be personal life, creative life, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Honestly, the media and the stuff going on all over the place with the media and the news that, I advocate missing murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirits, and I am active in sharing things like that. And then I'm watching all the immigration stuff going on. And it's so that all of the media, wars all over the world. And like literally the only happy thing that I'm holding on right now is we're about to have the next moon launch. But because of the cold weather, it has been delayed until into February. So yeah, the media, the world, everything like that is just, it's overwhelming. The noise is so much. But as far as being a writer, the thing that's overwhelming to me is just all the levels of writing, all the different things that you have to do, all the different work. I use January as a catch-up month because I got behind and I had the things, and I've got 4 books that I already have set to go live this year that are in the final stages. So I just needed to take a chance and take a month to just get those finished, putting the little buff and polish on it so that I could catch up with what I didn't finish in the 3rd and 4th quarter last year. And that was just, it makes OCD gold brain happy to be so overwhelmed with everything, but it makes the rest of mama not so happy. And, the other thing is one of the things that overwhelms me is I've had a stroke and I have migraines and I have post-stroke days, and my health is a thing that pushes my writing productivity into the sidelines. And so that is something that I need to give myself grace for, that I can't always write, I can't always edit, I can't always do these things, and I accept that. Question number 2. Evaluate the expectations from the things you listed and what can you remove from your plate right now. Well, the first thing is absolutely just step away from the doom scrolling, because I find that I'm doing that way too much. I'm doing it much more than I normally do, which is usually I'm pretty good about controlling my doom scrolling, but with, Native American people getting snatched up in these ICE raids, and they're not even checking things like that. It's so frustrating for me and everyone like me, because it's like, we feel like we can't leave our homes. And getting that double look is disconcerting. And as far as my health, there's not really much I can do to mitigate the things that happen with my health. I do the best that I can, take care of myself as best I can. And the writing, I guess the thing with writing is I can't let OCD goal brain go crazy. Hummingbird Muse and OCD goal brain get carried away, and I need to just not let them make me push myself all the way through. Number 3, establishing healthy boundaries. Saying no is difficult sometimes in our very supportive, loving community where you may feel you have to do certain things. What are your no-goes, boundaries that you have and want to set, either for your writing or working with other creators? My no-goes, the only thing that I love volunteering in the community. Everybody will tell you that. I love doing all the things and the things plus the things. That is like, oh yeah, if I can help, I will help. However, the no-go thing that I make everybody aware of is my brain does not work normally. And I don't remember things. That's why I have so many things written down all over the place. And even like you can tell me something and like something happens and an hour later, even a day later, I won't remember. So, and I get migraines. There are days when I just can't because of my medical issues. There are days when the entire right side of my face is like, and it doesn't want to work. And I'm like drooling, and it's like I'm drooling when I'm sleeping and I can't swallow properly. I have to turn my head to the left to swallow because literally that will go on. And so having chronic health issues, having the thing growing in my brain and the stroke and migraines and tinnitus and I hate to volunteer for things because I don't know if I will be well enough to help anyone with anything. But you can be sure straight that I'm going to try my best to be there, because my no-go thing for me personally is to quit trying to be part of my community, my friends, with my people. And number 4, embrace the change. How has your writing changed for the better since being on Authortube? Or how have you and your channel changed since you started on Authortube? And what changes do you want to bring back to your writing channel? Embracing the change is letting myself be okay with the drop in productivity that I've had, especially over the last 2 years. My online media presence really dropped down because I started having swarms of migraines, and it was difficult. But I'm back. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be going. It's so I want to try to get myself back. I started in August with All the Words August and trying to get myself back into this routine of streaming more regularly, of writing more regularly, of trying to just not let the health things overwhelm the creativity things, and trying to get that balance in there. So that's what I was working on. That's what I've been pushing forward, is the embracing the change, is me not letting the health issues get in the way. And As far as, I used to always 5 a.m. Writers Club. I was there sometimes several days a week, and that was a lot of fun. And I miss doing that, but I cannot do the 5 a.m. club anymore. So I'm back to doing Tis Tuesday, only it's happening at 3 in the afternoon Mountain Time instead of 5 a.m. in the morning. And occasionally I'll do Thriving Thursdays if there's a slot that's opened up because somebody else isn't sprinting. But that's just where I'm at. Question number 5, mistakes as opportunities. What mistake have you made in publishing, writing with your channel that you learned from? Hopefully we can all learn something too. I agree with that so much. Thank you, Morgan, for adding that in. I do see mistakes as opportunities. I am one of these who have always seen failure as a learning experience. Pushing too hard. That for the big word count challenges, and failing fabulously, because, you all know my mentality of the bigger the goal, the more gloriously you should fail it if you're not going to succeed. But, I got through that with creating the tiered challenges, changing the August 80K into all the words, and having the 28 count, having the 18 count, the 48 count, and the 80 count. It gives people the ability to work in a thing. And for me, that's necessary, that I don't always need to go to the top number. I don't always need to bash my head into the wall to try to do these things. I like the challenges because OCD Goldbrain likes to hold on to those things and go as hard as she can. However, sometimes health days, physical health days, mental health days means that I just got to step back. And so, yeah, if you're going to fail, own your failure, because we can't do everything all the time. And I'm from the generation where we were expected to do everything all the time. Successful mom, successful business owner, successful career, successful everything. I think of that song that's on all the meme reels right now. Therapist, mother maid, nymph and a virgin, nurse and a servant. I think that's how it goes, doing all the roles. So yeah. And I try to do that in writing too. I want to do all the reels and the posts and the streams and all of that. And I can't. I have had to step back canceling streams. I have to learn to not be down on myself for having to cancel streams because I can't do them. And I'm fortunate that I'm in a nice corner of Authortube where people understand that I just can't. There are days I just can't. I just can't. Thank you, Rachel. Labor by Paris Paloma. So yeah, that's mistakes as opportunities, is thinking that I can keep up with pre-stroke Maggie. Number 6, self-compassion. What are 3 to 5 small wins you have achieved today, this week, this month? Well, had a list. So I remember for today, still writing, did a lot of editing today. Did a lot of editing and momming today. The youngest was over, had some things. She has horrible morning sickness. My grandbean Lori is like, I'm going to poke mom every time she smells anything. And so Omi is cooking. We also did laundry. So together. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And earlier, and then after she left, I got a bunch of reworked stuff set up for the first Servants of the Moon book. I read part of a beta read this morning, almost 40 pages. And then tomorrow will be my reread, and I'll put all my notes in then. And then for the week, what did I get done for the week? I got a different beta read finished, finally sent off. And The third thing, what did I do? What for the month? Um, Final editing steps, down to the very last formatting and stuff on 4 different books this month. So I can get back on track with my publishing journey. Number 7, what is your favorite author or genre of books to read for comfort? I like cozies. Cozies are my palette cleaner books, whether it's witchy cozies or romantic-y cozies or my favorites right now are the My Husband Wants series by writer Sam Wicker on this channel, just because they're hysterically funny. They're touching. There's some, especially the second one, where you will cry. And be warning, there are things that will make you cry reading My Husband Wants to Keep Me Dominant. And there's chapters where they need to come with a warning that says, do not drink any kind of beverage. So yeah, but cozies are my favorite reads. Cozies are my palette cleansing read. Cozies are my safe place. They're my comfort reads. And honestly, I'm such a sci-fi fan. I never expected to be a cozy reader, but yeah, I started off with cozy bakery cozy mysteries, and then I went into magical cozies. And Erin, I can't think of Erin's last name, but she wrote 2 different series. One is the Psychic Pet Detective Magical Mysteries. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. And I want Daisy the dog. I want Daisy the snarky little psychic dog. I want the dog. I want the dog. Number 8, being instead of doing. What is your favorite thing to do when you are not writing or making content? Oh, well, that's easy. Baking, cooking, baking, cooking. Momming. I do a lot of momming. I do reading. I'm still trying to get my TBR down to a manageable level. If I went and rechecked it, and if I tried not to buy any books last year, so I didn't buy any books, but I did back end load my TBR with a bunch of free books. They have to stop these freebie book days. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it now, because if I read every book in my TBR, if I read 1 book a day, I'm going to be reading for the next 2 years and 5 months or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, reading. I do reading. I also will binge Netflix or Crunchyroll. K-dramas and C-dramas on Netflix, anime on Crunchyroll. When the weather's warm, like it's been being, I go out and sit with my bees. It was warm enough today for me to go out and check my beehives and open them up, and yeah, all of that stuff. All right, the last one, where are we at? Number 8. Did we just do number 8? Number 9. Read us a piece of your unedited work, because done is better than being perfect. Okay. Like I said, I'm working on Servants of the Moon. So I have this giant document open. So pick a number between 50 and 1200. And I will read from there. Hi, Phoenix. Yeah, pick a number between 50 and 1200. Because I compressed all of the Servants of the Moon series into 1 document. Apple hates me, or Microsoft Word hates me right now. Okay, we have 130 and 696. All right, let's go to page 130. Page number 130. Niall whined as he flopped back on her bed. Moir, I cannot leave the keep. The rogues have been seen gathering at Loch Alva, and the Alpha wants all the warriors to be ready in case they attack again. More than ever before, nearly 200. All of the wolves from Yarmouth to Caledonia have been brought to the keep for safety. He had been away at the Moon's Gate for over a year, with only a few visits home. But every time he came home, Moir made him do something which got him in trouble with his father and hers. Mamma was home from training the new Delphi, who had gone back to the Eye of the Goddess temple in the west. He hoped life would get back to normal, but his mate was giving him fits. Moir paced the floor by the bed, with her fiery hair floating around her face as she wrung her hands. But Niall, Mamma is closer to the coast and the mainland. If when they come, they'll find her first. Please, you'd just be scouting and happen to check on her. It wouldn't be your fault if I followed you. He made a frustrated sound and sat up. Oi, no! Moir, your father will have my hide, and my father will have my bones to chew. And your mum. I do not even want to think what the Luna will do to me if I take you out into the storm. Please come now. I'm scared for Mammo. Please, she pled, with her honeyed eyes wide and wet. He held out his arms, and she sat beside him in his embrace. She smelled of sea air and flowers, but mostly of the sunrise that matched her eyes. He had missed her so much. His wolf was nudging him to give in. Their mate was depressed. Their mate was worried. And the urge to comfort her was overwhelming. They didn't have a true mate bond yet and had not marked each other, but his wolf did not care. Their mate wanted him to do this, and the consequences his skin would face afterwards did not matter. He looked down at the tattoos on his arms. He was the second youngest warrior in the New Weymouth pack history to receive his first battle and 12 kills marks. The second only to his great-grandfather. The youngest warrior in this generation was an honor, but he didn't know how he felt about being so good at killing. All right, that was page 130 and 131. Page number 696. Beep. Okay, 696, I believe, is in the third book. No, that's in the second book, 696. Yeah, that's in the second book. Okay, why is it scrolling the wrong direction? I hate when this does not come. A silver-blonde Essie walked through the Eye of the Goddess temple with her usual confident swagger, greeting many she knew. She went straight to her grandpa, Elder Wanderer Eleazar's office. Hey, Grandpa. Her cheerful tone dropped to one of disgust. Lewis. She gave him a baleful stare before adding, Mal dropped me and whisked Dell off to the gate with Ainsley and Mammo. She said you had an assignment for me? Eleazar nodded, then scowled when she started to light a cigarette. Not in my office, Essie. You know that. Dell wants you to take Ketsu and Zane. Go to the Gulf Coast. Here's the addresses of the covens of Baton Rouge and... Do I have to go with Ketsu and Zane? Essie whined. You are a servant, Esther. The mess you made of your personal affairs has no bearing on your duty. Eleazar snapped harshly. How are things with the refugees? Essie stuffed her cigarettes and lighter in her pocket resentfully. Caillou and Niall are doing all the martial training. But honestly, with Caillou up there doing his warrior monk thing, we're going to end up with an entire pack of servants. The numbers are up from the original 21 to 33, with those Dell's albino friend rescued. There are 3 females and a male with potential as oracles. Dell had me move them into the oracle's quarters at the gate before I flew out instead of bringing them here. Why? Oracle's potentials should be sent here. Lewis eyed her suspiciously. Glaring at the... This is why this is so rough. I have Lewis's title here wrong. Lewis is head of he is the petitioner's coordinator. Glaring at the petitioner's coordinator, Essie shrugged as she pulled out her cigarettes again, then put them back when her grandfather growled, probably because she wants to evaluate the potentials while she's at the gate. How is the housing at the gate holding up with the extra wolves? Eleazar asked. Essie shrugged. There were several empty houses, so it's no problem. She should send them back to an allied pack. Lewis disagreed. Cocking an eyebrow, Essie glared at him again. If Dell wanted to house and interview the refugees herself, I'm not going to tell her no. And you shouldn't even think about it, Louis. She's the Delphi, not you. Esther, be nice. Lewis, we still don't know what kind of witchcraft is being used on the wolves to make them not resist being wolf-napped. Eleazar revealed. Then pointed at her. Essie, go find Ketsu and Zane. They're waiting. Don't give me that look. Do your job. Yes, grandfather. Huffing, Essie walked out. She opened her mouth to snark at Lewis, but Eleazar snapped his finger at his disobedient granddaughter. She left without comment. Relax, Lewis. Essie is leaving on assignment, and the Delphi will be back after Ainsley's birthday and her work with the refugees, Eleazar assured him. I wish she would have let me go with her. I would like to meet those wolves who escaped, the apostates. Surely one of them must know who their leader is. Lewis was not happy about Dell traveling between the 2 temples, and jealous that Leon would be escorting her through Montreal territory pack. When you are in charge of assigning petitioners to oracles and acolytes here, Delilah will be back before anyone realizes she's gone. If you were both gone, it would raise suspicions. Of course you are correct, Elder. Lewis rose and bowed slightly to Eleazar before walking out to do his duties. Once the petitioner's coordinator was out of his office, Eleazar reached out to his granddaughter through their family link. Good luck, Delilah. Lewis believes you are your sister. Travel safe. Thanks, Grandpapa. I love you. And I love you. Eleazar drew a deep breath. Dell was using herself as bait to try to lure out the sun wolf, while warning 2 covens in the deep south. Helios Desrus was never out of the territory of his father's pack or their allies. The Delphi was hoping the temptation of his mate traveling again would lure him out. They didn't know who the spy for the Desrus was, but Eleazar was certain there were 1 or more who were betraying their vows to the goddess and the moon's temples. Thank you. Oh, I think you're gonna love this series, Rich. I really, really think you are gonna love this series. It's about a werewolf religious war, and the destruction of the moon's temples, and an apostate wolf who worships a banished sun deity and is trying to take over the world. It's kind of like an antichrist kind of a thing. So only it's werewolves and sun gods and yeah. All right. The last question for the Give Yourself Grace tag is name one thing you love about yourself and one thing you love about your writing. Well, the thing I love about myself is that I am an unapologetic coffee addict. And I am extremely willful, especially when it comes to my PMA, which is positive mental attitude. That is the one thing that I push more than anything, and I am not ashamed of it. And the thing I love about my writing is that as clumsy and incompetent as my writing is, I love world building, and I put everything into my world building, and I have good worlds. I love my worlds. Is my writing up to the par of my worlds? Yeah, if you like it, thank you. But other than that, yeah, no. I just love that. The thing I love about my writing is the world building part. I love my worlds. Rose says, very good. It's so nice to be able to read to. Yeah. Rachel says, seems like it's written for me. Love religious cultural studies. Yeah, you're going to love this. I think you're going to like this. And add like in, yes, yeah. Werewolf shifters, vampires, gargoyles, devas, which are the deities of this world, are just a longer lived species. My gargoyle shifters appear in this world. Thank you. I love my worlds too. My worlds are so much fun. Relatable and loving the world building, but not currently the writing. So yeah. Raise your hand if you have to make yourself stop world building to write in your world. Yeah, that would be me. That would be me doing all of the world building and none of the writing. Okay. Well, this has gone on for 30 minutes, so thank you very much for joining me tonight. I apologize again for not being able to get this out earlier. I have been struggling greatly with the technical issues of trying to get them made. If you want to do this tag, the questions are in the description below, and I don't tag anyone because I know life is busy, life is crazy, life is chaotic right now, but I think it's a good place to start. Be sure to join us on Sunday morning for Breaking the Block, which is a group of us that we get together. We're not professional writers, but we like writing, and we share our writing and publishing experiences with other writers. And if you have a question, we'll all try to help you. And we love to do that with everyone. I am so glad that you were able to catch me live too. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I'm so happy. I have a bone to pick with you, Rachel. 27 stab wounds. Really? Really? Okay. You'll be getting my notes by the end of the weekend. I'm enjoying it. I'm traumatized. I want more. Anyway, like I said, I'm your host, Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, and one of the more prolific authors you've probably never heard of. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a lovely full moon weekend. It is Imbolc this weekend, the Celtic festival of winter changing to spring. It is time to start planting the seeds. And to plant our seeds, you have to break up the clods in the soil and make your garden ready. So I hope this is a tag that will inspire you to do that. And be sure to join us in February for the Love of Words month-long write-a-thon hosted by Cat's Chaos Cafe and Cat Leo Writing. And for the under 1K subs, which will be February 8th through the 15th marathon, trying to help smaller channels build themselves. Be blessed and have a beautiful life.
So make sure you always open up your eyes to all the adventures. Go against the tide. Before you know it, you'll be running out of time. You should